Your city has been taken over by giant rabbits that will devour every human it comes across. We have reached the end of the Blood Sea anime episodes 10, 11 and 12. Saya continues to struggle to remember her mother and the events of her past. While interrogating her father about these lost memories, a new future kimono appears to attack them. This time the creature resembles a ghost with very long hair. Tadayoshi throws the good Shinto to the girl, who gets distracted and ends up being knocked down. Saya gets up, draws her sword, and goes towards the monster. When she finally manages to hit it, she realizes that the thing's body is only a single spinal column. As much as the girl cut those hairs, they regenerated. Takuzo, who had just left Saya alone, overhears the battle and goes back to check what was going on, but as soon as he arrives, he is devoured by the creature. Upon seeing her friend being killed, her eyes transform and in a single sword swing, she annihilates the foot of Kumano. The next morning Fumito appears in her room with breakfast. He offers his famous marshmallows to the girl, who asks him if it is always red. The man mysteriously replies that the color of those marshmallows depends on what you put in the recipe. Later, at Fumito's cafeteria, Saya meets Sensei Kanako, who asks if she could take a look at the books that were kept in the temple. The girl informs her teacher that she could not take her to the library without first asking her father, who was not at home at the time. Kaneko insists, saying that she has always been interested in ancient tales and myths. In fact, that was her motivation for moving to that city. Saya then allows the woman to visit the temple's library. After looking at the books, Kanako hands one to the girl and asks her to look closely. The girl looks carefully and notices that both the cover and the pages are new. Her sensei interrogates her, asking if those aren't supposed to be old books. Saya takes another book from the shelf, and when she opens it, she is surprised to find that the pages are blank. She hears two familiar voices coming from outside and goes to check who's there. The girl is stunned to realize that those voices belonged to her friends. No, and Nay, who had been torn apart by the Furikimonos. The twins revealed that no matter how hard they tried to stimulate Saya's memories, the girl always returned to her current condition. The girls, along with teacher Kanako, explained to her that the whole town was just an act and that her true memories had been erased. Minutes later, Takuzan appears. He and the twins reveal that they want to end that theater soon and leave. Everyone in town had been hired to make Saya believe in that reality, with the promise that they would receive a reward. Takuzan wants to receive money as a reward, while Nono and Nene were there in exchange for their criminal records to be cleared. Despite appearances, these girls are far from innocent. They even reveal to Saya that they are part of the main cast, along with Tomofusa, Yuka, Takuzan, and Sensei Kanako. Therefore, they have amulets that protect them from the Furikimonos. All the other actors were extras, so even though they are still alive, it doesn't mean that the other people who were killed during the battles are also alive, while Saya freaks out. Hearing all this, her old friends mock the girl for having been tricked. Takuzan approaches Saya with a tube filled with the Fukimono's blood. Kanako informs them that as soon as Saya drinks that liquid, her memory will return. The woman holds the girl's face while her classmate pours the blood into her mouth. In that instant, she begins to remember the moment when she was captured by soldiers, led by none other than Fumito, her best friend, and that invented reality. While Saya regained her memory, her classmates recall that at the end of battles, the girl always drank the blood of the creatures she had killed. With that, her eyes would turn red, and her memories would return. But when that happened, Fumito would use hypnosis and put drugs in her food, making her forget all her memories again. The teacher then decides to end that game and help Saya recover her memories, but she doesn't do it because she wants the girl to be healthy. Kanako is actually a historian who went to that city to prove her research related to Saya's existence. While waiting for the girl to return to her conscious state, a Furikimono emerges from inside the library. Kanako pulls Saya as the other ones tries to escape. Just ahead, they run into Yuka and Tomofusa, who informs them that they violated the contract's rules by helping Saya regain her memories. Then, Fumito appears and orders Kanako to release the girl. While looking at Fumito, Saya remembers a conversation she had with him during their talk. The man explains that he had found a secret Japanese government document that revealed a deal made between humanity and the ancient heteromorphic beings known as the Furikamonos. In that contract, it was decided that these creatures could eat a specific number of humans, just enough to survive. He even says that Saya is special, as she doesn't feed on humans, but on creatures of her own kind. So that means Saya is also a Furikamono, something totally bizarre, even chained. The girl tries to resist the man's evil plans, but she is very weak because a lot of blood is being removed from her body through tubes. Upon discovering that Saya's blood is capable of controlling the other Furikamonos, Fumito proceeds to collect as much as possible, to use it in his favor in the future. He even reveals that he plans to do experiment on the girl. According to him, if all her memories were replaced, and she wasn't sent to a different environment, Saya would become someone else. The girl claims that regardless, she wouldn't change, so Fumito sends her to a deserted island, in what was now Saya's city, and starts testing her. If Saya really remains the same, she will receive a reward. But if the girl becomes someone else during the process, she would receive a punishment. As punishment for violating the contract, Fumito orders the Furikamono who had appeared minutes earlier to kill Takuzan. The monster jumps on the boy and crushes his head with its paw, then devours it. Nono and Nene are terrified, even though they were all wearing protective amulets, but Fumito reveals that after their supposed deaths, he handed them fake amulets. Knowing that they would be the next victims, Nono and Nene tried to escape. The monster grabs one of the twins by the legs and slams her body several times against the floor. After the killing, the creature devours her and goes after the second sister, who, still alive, has her body torn in half. After devouring her, the creature captures Kanako, who since the beginning of the experiment was wearing fake amulets, since Fumito already expected her betrayal. As it was about to swallow the woman, Saya pierces the Photokamona's leg with a piece of metal. Apparently contrary to what her father had said, Togo Shinto is not the only weapon capable of harming these creatures. She continues to trade blows with that thing and manages to pin one of its arms behind its head. Soon after, Saya twists the monster's other arms so it would let go of the teacher. Even so, the creature does not give up and continues to try to devour the woman. The girl landed some blows on the Furikamono's face, but it captures Kanako again and Saya enters the monster's mouth to rescue her. The girl carves one metal bar into the animal's mouth, walks inside its body, and pierces its heart. The monster struggles, and when it's about to be defeated, Saya pierces its body with the weapon. The teacher manages to make it out alive and gets up and desperately runs inside the temple, where she finds Tadayoshi, to whom she cries out for help. He hugs her and then bites off part of her neck. The man is a hybrid, the result of the union between a human and a Furikamono, and he had spent the entire morning feeding on Saya's blood. Because of this, he was under Fumito's full control, as were all the other Furikamono that the girl had faced. Controlled by that evil man, Tadayoshi starts attacking the girl with the same sword she used in all of her battles. Saya tries to dodge his blows, but ends up being dominated with the Shinto aimed at her face. As she tries to avoid being cut, the girl questions Fumito as to why he follows the Furikamonos to attack people, since he has the power to control them. Yuka replies that only the main cast has their safety guaranteed. As for the extras, there's no need to worry about them. Fumito even talks about another of Saya's compulsions, with whom Saya had made a contract which was set on by someone else. This contract prevented the girl from feeding on humans, and she did so in order to protect someone. So, if Saya won the bet of not turning into someone else after having her memories replaced, Fumito as a reward would make her go back to devouring humans. The fight goes on. Saya kicks Tadayoshi in the face and manages to get rid of him. The girl attacks him and retrieves her sword. After being seriously injured, Fumito orders the man to leave his human form. Transforming into an evil creature, he takes his sword and goes towards Saya, who, when exchanging blows with him, is thrown away and almost pierced by his weapon. But the girl manages to dodge and does not give up the fight. They continue exchanging sword blows until Saya has her skin ripped by Tadayoshi's claws. Then he throws the girl into the wall and runs towards her. She manages to escape, but is soon hit by other blows, seeing that the girl is weakened. The creature takes her by the legs and throws her body against the ceiling. Then he throws her to the ground and stomps the girl hard, crushing her organs. Saya tries to get the man to regain consciousness, but soon realizes that will be impossible. He is being completely controlled by Fumito. When she is about to be killed, her powers are boosted and she cuts off both of the Furukamono's arms before dying. Tadayoshi regains his consciousness and reveals that Saya is the first hybrid he had encountered, and despite everything that had happened, he was glad he'd met her. The girl holds him in her arms, and even though that man is not her real father, she cries for his death. Then she goes after Fumito. The man breaks a talisman and releases a Furukamono, who is soon defeated by Saya. She continues to pursue him, but is taken down by armed soldiers commanded by him. Tamafuso lunges at the soldier to stop him from continuing to attack the girl, but is soon killed before dying. The young man reveals that even though it was all an act, he had fallen in love with Saya for real. Meanwhile, that creature, released by Fumito, regenerated and started to multiply, spreading chaos across the city. What looks like giant and devilish bunnies invade the houses and attacks all the extras. While trying to escape, they are captured and thrown into a giant bag, which is nothing more than an extension of that monster's body. While some people were captured, others were killed and eaten as if they were snacks. After the bag was already full of humans, another copy of that monster starts to tear them apart with its hands, as if they were inside a blender. From inside the car, as they fled, Fumito and Yuka saw all that chaos happening, but didn't do anything about it. To make things worse, the man even ordered soldiers to shoot the people who managed to escape. As they talk, Yuka, the only survivor of the main cast, reveals that her goal in agreeing to participate in that experiment is for Fumito to help her enter politics and become governor of Tokyo. As for Saya, the girl runs through the city streets in search of the man who had deceived her and takes the opportunity to destroy all the monsters that cross her path. She then spots Yuka and Fumito getting into a helicopter and uses all of her power to jump up and get to him. But when she is about to kill him, the man pulls out a gun and shoots Saya right in the head, causing the girl to fall into the sea. Before leaving, Fumito reveals that the griffon that the Saya likes so much were made from the blood of the Furukamonos that the girl had killed, back on the beach as she recovers from her injuries. She cries that she remembers all the people she lost, and she is even sadder to learn that none of those relationships were real. For several days, Saya remains in the same place. From afar, that dog that always visited her was watching. It reveals that before being captured, Saya had made a wish. She wanted to remain the same person no matter what situation she was in, and the dog granted her wish. When the girl finally stands up, there's a different look on the face. She's undoubtedly determined to get her revenge on Fumito, not just for deceiving her, but for all the people he killed. Will Saya be able to get off that island and get revenge on Fumito?